Welcome to the Poor Listeners Program. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for checking us out this week. On the mics, we have the illustrious Corey G. What is up, sir?
What?
I asked you, what is up?
What? I'm sorry. I'm a little absent-minded tonight.
What?
Don't start.
What?
Huh?
Who? On the other mic, joining us this week, sitting in for the Z-Man. Please welcome back to the show, a good friend of ours, Q. What's up, Q?
Yo, life is good. Mondays suck, Friday's almost here.
Right on, brother. What up, everybody? I'm Spear. This week, something must be done about MTV. Music television. Music television. So it's a far cry from where it was when it first started, when they first had that little Moon Man, right? And they played that Video Killed the Radio Star. Yeah, it's been a long time since that had any kind of relevance whatsoever.
That's why they changed their name, just like KFC did. They
Right now,
actually got rid of all the music.
Right.
It's just MTV.
Right, it's just MTV now.
Yeah.
There's no music. Now
no
it's,
music. No
now
substance.
it's rife with reality shows and fucking orange chicks. It's terrible. It's terrible, and something must be done about it. What say you?
If MTV could carnate itself into a real thing, I would beat it within an inch of its life just to watch it come close to death, bring it back, and beat the crap out of it again.
I think I wouldn't have as much of a problem with MTV if they had just, admitted the obvious and changed their name. Right, because they're not music television anymore.
No, it's nothing close
Reality
to music
television.
Yeah, it's...
I say we just get rid of the channel altogether, or just regulate it to a corner of the viewing universe so that none of us are subjected to it, unless we're like in that teeny bopper age where our minds are just nothing but sugar and jello.
Is that maybe what this is, though, Q? I mean, are we bitter old men at this point? I mean, because remember, when MTV first came out, we were youngins. MTV just celebrated its 30th anniversary. It premiered August 1st, 1981, and when you first got that first glimpse of MTV, it was revolutionary at the time. MTV was the first channel where it ran 24/7, 7 days a week music videos, and that's what I'm saying. It was revolutionary when it first came on.
I mean, look at MTV2. MTV2 was revolutionary. It played music that MTV wouldn't play. Like a lot of smaller bands. Well, yeah, a lot of smaller bands.
No, yeah, you're completely right. Yep.
And like you get people to sit down like, oh my god, this band's really cool. I'm going to investigate them, and that's why MTV and their MTV2 were great. Or even The Box, which eventually MTV, of course, bought out, was like, all right, we've got all these videos here. You can go ahead, pick what you want to see, and that was what music television was supposed to be about.
So what happened though? I mean,
You know what happened? TRL happened. Total Request Live. It was a show where people would request videos be played. They do like a top, 10 or top 20 countdown. But they wouldn't even play the complete song, and they would talk over it the entire time. What was the point?
TRL crunched it all down into like, oh, well, that's a few seconds here, a few seconds there. Oh, who looks thugnificent today? We're going to put them on there. Oh, yeah, we'll bring them in. Let's forget the great artist.
We're going to alienate all our hip-hop listeners, which I can't condone because I like hip-hop myself.
My apologies. Hip-hop is still cool. 4 Listeners rocks.
Nice damage control there, Q. Good job.
Yeah, you bent over pretty easily, dude.
Like your mom.
Oh, snap!
I don't know how to take that. Jeez, I'm not used to it.
There's another opening there, but I'm not going to take it.
I don't even know what to say, Corey.
I'm stunned.
Wow. Let's just move on. All right, so we're saying that TRL was the root of all evil. So I'm wondering whether or not the root of all evil for MTV wasn't necessarily TRL. Certainly that's a huge contributing factor, but I'm wondering whether or not the wheels started to come off the cart when they did The Real World. The Real
No,
World.
they did that way early, though.
Well, right.
Yeah.
The Real World premiered in 1992, and it was. I mean, one can say that it was kind of the granddaddy of reality TV. You'd be hard pressed to find shows like The Real World before The Real World came on MTV. Now they're a dime a dozen. Now everyone's got cameras in their fucking house. But in 1992, it was one of those things where it was kind of new and kind of different. It was voyeuristic, and they went a long way to finding people who were interesting. I remember not the first season, but it might have been the second season where they had Pedro, the guy who had AIDS,
Yeah.
and then Puck. You guys remember this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Puck, where he was sticking his fingers into the fucking peanut butter and being generally disgusting and fucking everything else. But the Real World at least was centered in some. I know this is going to sound terrible, but centered in some reality where, Pedro was facing the AIDS thing and the homosexuality thing. And remember, in the '90s, things weren't as open and accepted. It was. I thought it was really well done and wasn't over the top dramatic. Now, if you have any kind of Real World type of thing, it's all about the skis, right? It's all about hot tubs and who's banging who and the drama involved in that, the screaming, the punching, the whole routine. It's been, it's nearly 20 years of skanks and hoes.
Oh yeah. You need STD test just from watching it.
Yeah, I mean, The Real World begat Road Rules, and then that begat the Real World Road Rules Challenge, right? I mean, it's de-evolutionary, right? It kind of we started with something that was that challenged social norms and was at least cool to watch, and it turned into fucking banging in hot tubs. I mean, what happened?
They realized it was easier. But I mean, at first it was a small little niche. It's like, let's take a look at our MTV world and bring some kids in, young kids. Let's keep the young vibe going, and we'll still have our music. Like the initial MTV Wrapped, when they brought in some of the great hip hop artists that were in the '90s, that was great. NWA and all these great bands, or groups that were. The rap was good. The rap was pure. It wasn't materialistic, but as the music became more materialistic, so that the shows, because they figured if we can get away with this, then we can get away with pretty much almost sex on TV.
All right, and on the other side of that was things like Headbangers Ball and 120 Minutes, right, where you actually got a chance to, like 120 Minutes I thought was always cool because it was kind of like that alt rock weird crazy shit that they would play all the time. It was when I first got to see Green Day, who I love to this day. Headbangers Ball was like when you got to see I would stay up late, or I would try to stay up late, I would sneak it so that I could see the video for One from Metallica. You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean that video was awesome. And you would wait for that shit. All right, so let's move a little bit further into the 90s. I thought we got some halfway decent videos in the 90s. That's I think when we got some really good shit out of Nirvana, out of Michael Jackson,
Unforgiven. I love that video.
the Metallica video.
Yep.
Yeah, we got some fucked up shit. We got some like New Kids on the Block, Vanilla Ice. MC
Well, you remember
Hammer.
when a Michael Jackson video would be a world premiere?
Oh, dude, it was crazy. Like you would stop everything you were doing and you'd sit there and you'd watch it all night.
It was like a Super Bowl almost. Countdown to kickoff.
Yeah, remember when the black and white video came out?
Yeah.
Dude, they played Michael Jackson videos all day, and you sat there and you watched Michael Jackson videos all day. And there was, and then when the face meld or the whatever the fuck when they did the faces
morphing,
thing,
yeah.
the morphing, yeah. I mean that was like, that's fantastic. And then he turned into a
Berserker.
panther and started grabbing his crotch a lot, and some other fucked up shit happened. But that was the point. I mean, MTV in the '90s was the shit with music videos. I mean, there was some classics like the fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Well, there was nothing that good about that video, but the song, on the other hand.
I remember watching that video because nobody could figure out what the fuck Kurt Cobain was saying, that they actually ran it with subtitles at the bottom. so that you can figure out what the lyrics were to the song. But I thought that was the shit. I was like, finally, I can figure out what the fuck he's saying.
You remember the warning before that Prodigy video? Smack my bitch up.
Yeah.
Trying to make it play off like it was all artistic and all that crap when it were just a stupid video with titties at the end, and it was a woman the whole time.
Yeah. And then there was...
Come on, that's all you're going to give me? Yep. They made a big fucking deal out of it. It was like, kids, leave the room.
They were kind of scared of like how people were going to react to it. I think that was the thing. It's like, we can't. We've got to pretend that we're like not trying to be edgy, but we really are being edgy. But
we're taking an impartial journalistic view on the matter. We'll let you decide.
Yeah. I mean, then like you play certain mixed songs, put them on a glass. I mean, that's just unadulterated titty.
Do you guys remember the uproar over the Like a Prayer video?
Absolutely.
With the crying Jesus and the whole routine and the...
I thought it was Black Jesus.
Well, there was the Black Jesus. There was the crying effigy. There was the whole fucking thing, right? The burning crosses that she's dancing in front of.
And then Pepsi made it a video for their Pepsi product.
And then there was TRL. I got to agree with Corey. TRL was kind of the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Right after TRL, you ended up getting a plethora of reality shows, starting with the Tom Green show.
Oh.
Right? I hated that fucker. I hated him.
I still hate him.
It's basically Jackass with one person.
Well, Jackass without the comedy.
And then
there's another show that didn't belong on that channel. Jackass.
Jackass had a place on some
MTV
channel, but not on MTV, right?
I don't remember. I thought it started on MTV, but then no, they had Buzzkill on MTV, which was a precursor to Jackass. Like, it was a similar show where they pranked people, but with Jackass, they pretty much did stuff to themselves.
See, I have no problem with Jackass actually, but
yeah, but as a show, I thought it was funny. But on MTV,
well, yeah, it doesn't belong. I agree with you.
And then there was the Newlyweds show. Newlyweds, you remember this?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was fucking
Jessica Simpson.
Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, right? Where she's on camera wondering, is it tuna or is it chicken? Because it's chicken of the sea, right?
I felt so bad for Nick because, he's embarrassed at how stupid his wife was,
right?
On national TV. But what's he gonna? It's like, hey, I married this woman, but she's dumber than a box of rocks.
Pretty much.
The worst part about that show was that it begat the Ashley Simpson show. Like, we didn't have enough problems with the one stupid Simpson.
Well, see, she did. I mean, she never even deserved that in the first place. All she did was ride along her sister's coattails. Oh, Ashley Simpson, Jessica's sister.
Right.
I thought she got the acting gig on Seventh Heaven. I mean, she did that. And I'll have a music career.
Did you watch Seventh Heaven?
Yeah, Seventh Heaven was an awesome show. It's like the Cosby Show with white people.
How about MTV Cribs? Remember that one?
See, that was I actually liked that one. I learned that Ludacris lived in a real neighborhood.
As opposed to what, a fake neighborhood?
Well, like a mansion, or some secluded, gated community. No, it looked just like a regular old neighborhood. It's like, here's my neighbor Ludacris. Lawn's looking good.
Yeah.
Well, through all of this, through all of these reality shows, as they started to get in all those things, they went from 24/7, 365 music videos to, starting in the 2000s, they were getting down to 8 hours a day. And by the time they got to 2008, they were showing on average 3 hours of music videos per day on MTV. So you weren't watching music anymore. Now you're watching the Osbournes, you're watching the Hills, you're watching Pimp My Ride, you're watching fucking Punk'd. Right? These were all things that you were watching now. And then you finally got to Jersey Shore, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the grandest atrocity that MTV's ever foisted on the public. This is what we're talking about, right? This is the state of MTV now. So what say you, Ganshorn? What do we do? What do we do about this? I mean, we said something must be done. Is there anything that can be done at this point?
They need to change their name, and then I'll stop caring.
So
I
they
agree.
shouldn't be MTV anymore. They
Nope.
maybe RTV, because they seem to be all about reality shows now.
Yep.
What say you there, Q? Is there anything that can be done about this at this point?
Yeah, I think what you need to do is just say, hey, look, MTV, whatever you call yourselves, just change your name to Teeny Bopper TV, Reality TV, something else, and just give up the facade that you guys are on TV. They didn't even celebrate their 30th anniversary. This epic thing, they didn't do it like CNN did it. A lot of the news networks did it. They regulated it to VH1. That's pathetic. You know, that one video they played, that first video killed the radio star. It sure did, and then it turned the gun on itself.
Well said.
As much as I hate to say it, I think MTV was almost like, well, they're super smart and they're ahead of the game, right? From the music industry perspective, because the point of the video was to expose and sell music, right? And nowadays with the internet and the advent of YouTube and Facebook and MySpace, you don't need to waste money on a video anymore. You just plop the track up on a website and there you go.
We're on iTunes or
Right,
YouTube.
yeah, iTunes especially.
Yeah, YouTube kind of has replaced the function of MTV because
Not
now you can
necessarily, though.
not necessarily. Why not?
MTV was image. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you got your face out there. Before, I mean, who was going to see these bands unless, you know, oh, maybe
Right.
you saw a poster. There was really much internet. So, I
Right,
mean, you
that's
only
what I-
heard
yeah.
about it. But
That's what
there
I
was
agree, but now, like, you can go on Facebook or MySpace or any of those things that we mentioned, and you can find, 1,000 new artists and find somebody you like. Whereas before, you had to hope for the shitty radio station to play something or something new and fantastic to appear on MTV.
Yeah, I think a big thing right now that could really come along, and I decide with Timberlake here is MySpace. Basically, MySpace is dead. It's completely devalued for what it was. No one's using it anymore. But you could use it as a genre to get music videos out there. And I think that's what's going to, when it relaunches or gets reinvented, I think that's going to be a platform to get artists out there and try to do the same thing that MTV did. Put a face to the music. I mean, but you also need radio stations to stop playing the same 20 songs. You know, expand it out to, like, I don't know, 100, 150 songs a day maybe. But that's the only viable thing I can see out there. Maybe even resurgence, like with a new channel. I mean, there's a channel for everything out there now. Why not another music video channel? I think
That's what I was saying. I think I have a bunch of those on my cable box. I have Muse. I have Palladia. I don't think they're starving for content. Frankly, I think you need to get artists back into the art of making music videos. Like, have you seen a Jay-Z and Kanye West video for whatever the fuck they're doing now?
Oh God, no.
20 years ago, if Kanye West and Jay-Z, two of the biggest stars of the time, came out with an album together, there would have been one of those Michael Jackson-style countdowns for the world premiere of their video.
Absolutely.
It would have been an event, and it would have been like this 10-minute or 12-minute long opus of a video, to drive album sales. Nowadays you don't need it. Nowadays you have the internet, you have Twitter, you have fucking Facebook, you have whatever, you have iTunes. Fuck everything else. You have iTunes. You have iTunes, you have Last.fm, Pandora, Slacker. Now you have Spotify. But you have all these venues by which to find and discover music, especially with things like Pandora, because they'll kind of just start playing different things for you based on what you've already told it that you like. So it's not the same kind of thing, and I think most artists won't spend the money to make a good music video, mostly because they don't need to. So let's play. What did we learn? What did we learn, Q? What did we learn about MTV? What did we learn?
MTV was once a really great thing, and then it turned on you like a really, really horrible X.
Yeah, I've had some pretty horrible exes. Yeah, I think I can kind of come to that mentally. Yeah, Gantorn.
What?
What did we learn? Yeah,
I didn't learn anything. I already knew it.
You already knew it. You already knew what?
I already knew it. That MTV sucked. It was good many, many, many years ago, and now it sucks.
Well, I learned that video did in fact kill the radio star, and then turn its gun on itself. If I could quote my good friend Q.
Absolutely.
No, I'm gonna blame the internet.
Yeah, I think that has a heavy thing to do with it. I don't think that I learned that I don't believe that the music video is dead. That
I agree with you. I just think MTV's dead.
Yep. That the music video or the ability to watch good music videos lives on in the form of YouTube. That discovering music has now fallen to the iTuneses and Pandoras and Spotifys of the world.
There's no focal point like there used to be with MTV. Like it's spread out. Like it's like Voltron, the line split everywhere instead of like one solid unit robot.
And we make another Voltron reference on the For Listeners program. Excellent. I'll tell you what else you can find on iTunes as long as you're going around discovering music. You can find the For Listeners program. So go ahead and check us out and download us and set your subscriptions. Also check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/forlisteners or forlisteners.com. Thank you very much, Q, for joining us again.
Thanks for having me, man. Always fun.
Always a pleasure. We thank you for checking us out this week, and we hope that you will check us out again next week. Thanks a bunch, everybody.